All right, cheers. NJ Gourmet ginger shots right here.
Salud.
Now, I can't drink the whole thing. I got to sip it like espresso. That's my style. What do you think? That's good?
That's great. Fresh.
Dude, this isn't even an ad, but great for inflammation, great for energy boost,
Yeah, I love it.
digestion.
Got the turmeric in there.
This will keep you ready to go for the show.
And it's pineapple, my favorite.
Little pineapple in there, ginger, turmeric. Anyway, welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys, where we make smart moves so you don't have to. I'm Myke Meals.
Joey Puma.
We're all souped up and hyped up on this ginger boost right now. I'm telling you, it keeps you in the zone. I've been focused. There's so much going on for week 10. I feel like we say it every week.
No, there's so much going on. We're going to get you all caught up with the news, the notes, everything that you need to know. Starts, sits, streamers. You know, we're going to get you ready for week 10.
We've been also thinking about it, like how we want to be able to touch every game. So we're going to kind of go through a breakdown quickly at one point for each game, talk about some key points.
Yeah.
Talk about our starts, sits, and streams of the week. You know, there's a lot of good information in this whole episode that we're going to try to jam-pack in the 30 minutes because we're professionals. These people want it quick. It is so good.
I know. No, we are professionals. Well, we try to be. And this is going to be faster than Chris Berman's fastest 5 minutes.
I mean, I just feel like we just got to get through it, you know?
Yeah.
We got to push through.
We're going to get through it.
There's so much information now happening with week 10. The trade deadline just passed.
As a Jet fan, how you feeling?
Whew, man, honestly, at first I was a little sad to see Sauce Gardner. That was the first notification. Then I texted you and you said, dude, my phone is blowing up.
Oh, yeah. I was getting a haircut. So I'm getting a haircut, and then all of a sudden my phone is going off, you know, the rip. I thought it was all the the spam callers calling me for my birthday, but it was not. It was a big trade that was going on.
And at first you don't really believe it, but when you see the notification, NFL.com, you're like, oh my God, this is official. And then you saw him go. So then I assumed Brees would be the next one.
Right.
He didn't go. It was Quinnen Williams. So Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys, Sauce Gardner to the Colts. As Jet fans, look, I'm going to miss them, but I think this was a great
I'm
rebuild.
ecstatic.
It's a great rebuilding situation for us. Glenn wants to draft his own guys.
Like I always say to you, Myke, you know, you come into a situation, if your name is not Justin Jefferson or some bound Hall of Famer, Jamar Chase, you can be replaced. You know, Harbaugh came into a situation with the Chargers. You're going to keep Herbert, obviously. But, like, with the Jets, there's nobody there that is untouchable. Maybe Garrett Wilson, and if there was a Godfather offer, he would even be on the table. If I didn't draft him, he is not my guy. He's on the chopping block.
Yeah, Brees Hall being one of those guys. Chiefs offered a 4th-round pick for him. Jets wanted a 3rd. So many fantasy managers were hoping for Brees to get dealt because they had Brees.
They had Brees and Isaiah.
I was one of them in one of my leagues, kind of hoping for that split. Then all of a sudden I got 2 RBs.
We should know that the Jets would even screw us on that.
Exactly. Why am I even relying on them for
to make a trade?
Roster boost. I know. It's unbelievable. But then, you know, that didn't happen. So there was really no major news. Jakobi Meyers did go to Jacksonville, which I think is awful for Brian Thomas.
I think it's also awful for Brian Thomas, but also, too, what does this really say about Travis Hunter? You know, is his injury more severe? I know he's on the 4-week IR, but as you could tell, and since the beginning of the season when they started utilizing ETN, Liam Cohen is only worried about one thing, and that's winning each game.
Yeah.
So if he has to play all 4 wide receivers out there with BTJ, you know, Jakobi Meyers, Parker Washington was another one coming up, and Travis Hunter. He's going to do it. He's not worried about your fantasy team. I mean, Myke, it's kind of like I'm fading Jacksonville wide receivers a little bit. In a pinch, flex spot, sure, I'll throw up Parker Washington. But with this news of Jakobi Meyers going there, I mean, it just hurts BTJ and everyone else.
And you were absolutely right with the Travis Hunter thing. If you have Travis Hunter, it was like a shock to everybody when you heard about it randomly on a Thursday that he was getting placed on the IR.
Right.
And, you know, we don't really know much more details except there was a non-contact injury. And like you said, they went and traded for somebody because they're in a win-now situation.
Right.
And Yeah, Travis Hunter, I don't know. I'm going to keep him in my IR, but I'm not expecting him
That
back.
just sends a message to me that he's going to most likely be on the IR maybe longer than we expect.
Yeah, and then if he comes back week 14, are you even going to rely on him in the fantasy
No, you can't.
playoffs?
You can't. Right now, Travis Hunter is a 2026 alternative. You cannot trust him. I mean, if you do, it's basically you're throwing him in there because you have injuries or it's in a pinch. But
Yeah.
other than that, prepare.
Another little boost. Rashid Shaheed went to the Seahawks.
I love this move, Myke.
I do too.
They gave up a 4th and a 6th for him. Rashid is going to his former offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak, which, Sam Darnold had familiarity coming into the system when he was with San Francisco. Now Shaheed being with him in New Orleans. I feel like, and you were asking me this question before we started to film, would you play Shaheed? Would you give it a week? And honestly, I play him. Like you send that capital to the New Orleans Saints. You're telling your fans that you're ready to win now and you're ready to utilize them now.
Yeah.
And Shaheed is the type of player that he takes the top off the defense. So, most of his routes are go routes anyway. So, how would you feel if you left Shaheed on your bench and he's got like 20 points because he took a go route? It was 3 targets, but one of the 3 targets was a touchdown.
I mean, if out of all people, if you have Sam Darnold and he's now your QB1, I mean, he's a great option.
Nice little sail out connection.
100%. He's getting in that position now where I feel like he's startable every week. Obviously, always check the matchups, and then lastly, of course, like we said, the Jets made the moves. Don't expect too much from anybody offensively this year, but I'll tell you now, defensive-wise, I would love to play anybody going up against the Jets because they just got rid of their 2 best players.
Yeah.
They're going to lose a lot of games.
No, absolutely. And it's funny Myke says that because I'm actually, listen, our waiver wire in our fantasy league is barren right now. We were just speaking about this as well. I picked up the New York Jets to play against Myke, and I feel like we're gonna have a little bit of inspiration. I don't know. This is a gut feeling.
No, I could see that too.
And but especially with left-handed Mark Sanchez at quarterback, Dylan Gabriel. So
you might see a couple interceptions.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like he's so short, and honestly, I feel like this is maybe a Shedeur Sanders debut. So we'll see. But going forward, other than this Browns matchup, yes, like maybe the Jets are something that I would avoid and look elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, for now, obviously, like I said, there was no major trade news that happened, but
I got to throw this out there, though, Myke.
What?
How about your confidence, right? Let me look at this from in a window. With CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, that whole Dallas offense, do you still love them, even though they shored up their D-line with Quinnen Williams? Is that still the connection you want? Is that still a piece of an offense that you want?
Yeah, of course. I mean, barring any major setbacks.
Because they looked like crap on Monday night.
In the end, I think that adding one defensive player is not going to change the whole outcome of their entire defense. I think Jerry Jones sometimes thinks he was announcing this move like he was doing the most blockbuster thing.
The best was when they were trying to get the Bengals linebacker, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is the move. This is okay, yeah, I'm all for it.
He shot out, man. But I don't really see any improvements to the defense that makes me any less scared to play these guys. If I have the stack, I'm playing it. Like if you have this stack for this long, you can't break that apart between Dak Prescott and CD.
Absolutely. What do we got next, my friend?
So the last thing, Jacoby Brissett is named starter officially right now because Kyler Murray was placed on the IR. To me, it seems like a soft benching, but
yeah.
Regardless, big, huge boost for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison Jr. specifically.
I was in a fantasy league and the guy I was playing against had George Pickens and Javonte Williams, and I had Marvin Harrison and Michael Carter. So his 2 did nothing. Michael Carter did nothing, but Marvin Harrison comes out and gets me 35 points.
This past week, I benched Bam Knight and I put Marvin Harrison in. I had them both going. I just knew that Marvin Harrison
felt good about that.
seeing Michael Carter get lifted again, which we all say thinking Bam Knight was going to be alone, and all of a sudden you see Michael Carter get elevated. It's like, what can you really rely on from any of those running backs? The only thing you can really rely on this offense is Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison, 7 receptions, career high against who they play? Oh, against Dallas, seven receptions, career high. 96 yards and a touchdown. He looked fantastic. He was crossing up Deron Bland.
Definitely his coming out game.
Big time, man.
I would my message to the folks out there and our fans, temper some expectations with this connection because, coming up is Seattle. In Seattle, we see what they did to the Commanders. I think the Cardinals have a better offense, just because
the Seattle Cardinals games are usually low scoring.
Right, they're low scoring, and it's in Seattle, so that kind of does scare me for Jacoby Brissett and Marvin Harrison. But let's see. But again, I would temper expectations a little bit on that.
So let's get into the slate. Let's get into the game breakdown. Len, how we doing on time?
11:39.
All right, let's get into it. So first matchup, Thursday Night Football. This is an interesting one. Division rivalry. Vegas Raiders at Denver. -8.5 Denver. Over under 42.5. I mean, I didn't really want much piece of this game, but Bo Nix I'm into.
Bo Nix, lock-in starter. I think anytime touchdown, scramble, and also too, I love the wide receivers in this game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Courtland Sutton has been quiet. Sutton. He's been quiet a couple of weeks. I think that he could break out, maybe for a score, but more so receptions-wise. Troy Franklin, Bo Nix has been loving him.
Yep.
And, on the Raiders side, I mean, how do you sit Genty?
Just really Brock Bowers and Genty.
Genty, yeah, that's it. And log out.
That's it, because I don't want anything to do with the Raiders wide receivers. But I think, all those guys are playable. And you mentioned Troy Franklin. Even RJ Harvey, I think, is a sneaky play.
I'm actually playing him tonight against you.
I saw, Jesus Christ.
I had to put that out there.
Well, look, RJ Harvey, I'm not saying anything bad about him, but he still has ways to go because of that opportunities with, J.K. Dobbins. But tonight, if they get in a blowout, I can see him. Really,
right, and that's my hope. But I don't even think that it can be a blowout. I think J.K. Dobbins is regressing a little bit.
Yeah.
And Harvey, like how we said a couple of shows ago, where rookies coming into the league, their snap percentage starts to pile up. I think that's happening for RJ.
So next game after that, Sunday morning. I hate these games, but it's the Germany game. I feel like the foreign games are always kind of weird, but Atlanta Falcons at the Indianapolis Colts, -6.5 Colts, over under 48.5. I think you can play mostly everybody on the Colts side. Definitely Pittman, Tyler Warren.
I'm going to say
Jonathan Taylor.
Everybody skill-wise I'm playing. So I'm playing Drake London, Bijan Robinson, logging out for Atlanta. On the Colts side, it's Pittman, Warren, and Jonathan Taylor. I want no part of both of these quarterbacks.
I'm a little worried because of the defensive matchup and then being Germany. Like, I don't know how good the quarterbacks are.
I think it's a really good field goal game. But, I definitely see JT getting into the end zone. He missed out last week. He's due. And, Tyler Warren might be due. But, again, like, Daniel Jones disappointed me last week. And Michael Penix, all he does is throw to London.
And you saw what the Falcons did to the Bills. Like, it kind of limited Josh Allen. I could see, it's a similar offense.
Yeah, just low scoring. Definitely an under game, I feel.
The Giants, New York Giants at Chicago. Chicago Bears, -4.5. 46.5 over under. This is in Chicago. It's supposed to be a little snowy, a lot of wind. I love the running backs more than the pass catchers in this game.
And like we spoke, you like the running backs. I like the quarterbacks in this game. I think it's going to be with the weather of precipitation, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game just because both quarterbacks can rush and are dual threats. I feel like Loveland, definitely play him if you have to. He could build off that game from the week before. And I think a big coming out party, Rome Odunze. I mean, I know people were down on him. He was throwing up goose eggs. His father came out. Marvin Harrison's father came out too. So maybe that daddy love, I think Rome Odunze goes off this week, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Again, the pass catchers to me aren't that desirable right now. Based on what I'm seeing, weather-wise, you're talking 20-mile-an-hour winds. You saw the last real windy game kind of in that same area, Cleveland and Miami. There was no passing really happening. The Bears played also, where was it? Against Baltimore, maybe, where there was a lot of wind and rain. And again, same thing. I get more focused on these weather games and these bad times just because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really
Running the ball is a little bit easier.
I don't want to say you can't play Roma Dunze. Of course, he's a great player.
No.
You're most likely playing him. But a
gotta
guy like
stay.
DJ Moore or a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson, Slayton, you might have the opportunity to bench them. Consider it. But Buffalo Bills at Miami. Now, in this case, beautiful weather, 80 degrees. Buffalo -9.5, 49.5 over under. I think Josh Allen, Kincaid, James Cook, great plays. Miami, I mean, Waddle and Achane.
Yeah, Waddle, Achane. Yeah, I wouldn't even give any consideration to Malik Washington. Maybe as a sneaky start Tua.
Ugh,
If they're like, down in the game.
Yeah.
Just for passing volume. But other than that, you're right. Just those players
I
from
think
lockdown.
Bills DST too.
Yes, I could definitely see a Bills defensive touchdown on this one for show.
I'm also positive, or almost positive, Dalton Kincaid had a touchdown last time. He's been getting a lot of work, man. He's currently, what is he?
Yeah, he did get a touchdown against the Chiefs. Is that what you mean?
Tight end 5. No, against the Dolphins, the last matchup.
Oh, the last matchup?
So he did. He scored 17 fantasy points. He's the tight end 5 on the year now. Excuse me. He's the tight end 5 on the year now. So he's a guy that you could definitely keep in your lineup.
Of course.
And especially on a night like this. So what do we got next after that, buddy? Baltimore and Minnesota. Baltimore -4.5, over under 49.5.
Oh, yeah. Well, you definitely playing Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews. Would you play Mark Andrews? I'd play him.
I like Mark Andrews and likely this week because the Vikings the last couple of weeks have been getting torched.
Torched by the
Sam Laporta,
tight
Gaston
end.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they've been getting torched by the tight
He's
end.
trying to convince me to play Mark Andrews probably because he knows I'm playing him. That's going to be in another episode, but relax.
No, yeah. Play
I've been
Mark
watching.
Andrews.
Yes. Who else do you like from the Vikings side?
Justin Jefferson, my boy Jordan Addison. This didn't happen last week, but the the Baltimore defensive backs have been giving up a lot of yards to the wide receiver in fantasy. So Jordan Addison, I feel like is a great wide receiver 2 flex play. TJ Hawkinson, I mean, I guess like it's tight end is so scarce. I guess he showed some life with JJ McCarthy scoring a touchdown.
Yeah,
so.
I saw that last week. That was nice.
So why not? If you need it, go for it.
I guess I'm biggest on that Addison play.
Yeah.
Because Justin Jefferson is an obvious must start, but you know that they're gonna have to keep up the Vikings and McCarthy's gonna be throwing the ball.
Addison's getting a
It's
touchdown.
go time. Addison's gonna be into it. So the ugliest game, well, not really the ugliest because I love these guys, but the lowest over under the week, Cleveland at New York. Cleveland -2.5. This is in MetLife, just down the road. 37.5 over under. Jet Life. I mean,
Yeah, right. Anyway, no.
Brees Hall, of course, I'm playing.
Yeah. You're playing Brees Hall. You're playing. Is Garrett Wilson gonna play?
Garrett Wilson might. He was limited today and yesterday.
Okay, 2 touchdowns for Justin Fields. I really feel like as a Jet fan, they're gonna come out with a win. I know that sounds nutty. Also, too, I think a great play on the Cleveland side is just Judkins, and then you're logging out. I cannot trust any of the Cleveland receiver corp.
He's trying to convince me not to play Harold Fannin.
And
Get it.
and the quarterback. It's mainly because of the quarterback position.
It is especially Njoku, who everybody was into. Fannin has been getting more work, and they do split it. You don't know one way if it's going 1 week one way and then to another player another. Judkins smash play.
Yeah.
Brees Hall, not necessarily a smash play, but I understand he's a must start basically. Probably based on where you drafted him. You're not going to play anyone else. And Garrett Wilson, if he's healthy,
You play him.
throw him in there.
Yeah.
New England at Tampa Bay. I love this game.
I think that's one of the great games. What is that at 4 o'clock?
This is
1 o'clock.
No, it's a 1 o'clock.
Oh, it's a 1 o'clock. I really love that game. I feel like Emeka Ibuka is going to have a big comeback.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
See, now they got the 1 week bye.
yeah, it had the 1 week bye. Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving, they still haven't practiced.
Yep.
So you're loading up, you're firing up Rashad White, boring. Obviously Mayfield. You know, Tez Johnson. Tez, I'm going back to the Tez. You know,
I'm going back to Cade Otton, dude.
Yeah, Cade Otton. Listen,
fact,
fire them all up. I think that's going to be one of the highest scoring games. That in the, whatchamacallit over there, the
Ravens game.
Yeah, the Ravens game.
Well, this one
Minnesota
is a 48.5 over under. Tampa Bay minus 2.5 at home.
Right.
Yeah, I think this will be a nice little duel of the quarterbacks.
Drake May, I mean, like it's great. I think you're looking at potentially 2 of the top 3 MVP candidates squaring off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you're about right with all the guys in Tampa Bay. On the New England side, besides Drake May, I'm not confident in any of those guys because it could be a hit or miss.
Oh, it could be anyone. Pop Douglas, it could be Diggs.
Henry,
Yeah. Oh my God, I had Travion Henderson in a parlay. I will never take him again. He's probably going to score this weekend.
Yeah.
And you had Tim Jennings score a touchdown, which I just So that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. Travion, he might get the opportunities, but keep an eye on Ramondre and temper expectations. So the Saints at Carolina, 1 o'clock game also. Carolina minus 5.5, 39.5 over under. I think the Panthers DST is my favorite play of this game.
You know, and I picked them up.
Rico.
I picked them up in 3 of 4 leagues. Naturally, not against Myke, so he lucks out.
Oh,
but
I
picked them up in every other league, and I basically spent like at least 10% fab budget on them, just because they haven't been a terrible defense.
They haven't.
And you're playing against Tyler Sucks. So I truly feel you'll see a couple of pick 6 in this game. And, Rico Dowell, you're firing up. Pat McMillan, you're firing up. And that's pretty much it, because I would not play anyone on the Saints.
I think it's going to be an ugly game, though. It's going to kind of be low scoring.
Maybe Chris Olave, because now Shaheed is out.
I mean, Baker Mayfield threw 150 yards against these guys. Like, what can we really expect more from the Panthers here? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. I think there'll be a lot of running. I think it's going to be a huge Rico Dowdle day.
Rico Suave in the end zone. Woo!
Another ugly game, Jacksonville and Houston. So the Texans. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Jacksonville.
At Houston.
Yeah, the underdog.
General Mills is up, baby.
They're the away favorite. Jacksonville minus 1.5, over under 37.5.
Yeah, that Houston defense has been suffocating the past 2-3 weeks.
I'm more interested in the DSTs than the players here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that Jacksonville is in play. With a backup quarterback, and Houston definitely in play. I could see Houston come away with a win with a backup quarterback, but that's just
but I also said that last week with the Raiders Jacksonville game, and then that game came out to be like a total shootout almost. Brock Bowers have 44 fantasy points. So in the end, you never really know, but I'm not playing Brian Thomas Jr. We'll get into that later.
Right.
And then the running backs, I guess I'm not really that into either. Chubb, and the only one who I feel like is a must start, you got to just play him, is Nico Collins. Right. I think Davis Mills is going to go to his alpha.
ETN.
ETN's okay. He's a good player.
Yeah, but you got to play him.
Somebody's going to score there.
Yeah.
Probably be him.
Yeah, but I do see it being a low-scoring game. Arizona and Seattle. And this one is a real intrigue. That's why I was telling people temper expectations, because let's see how Arizona does after a successful Monday night. Anyone could score on Dallas, but can they score on Seattle?
Tough defense.
Top 3 defense, in my opinion, in the league right now in the NFL. So, and you're playing in a hostile environment. Can Marv repeat? I think that's going to be a big thing as well. My question to you, DeMarcado is really, coming back into his own since, the whole goal line thing in Tennessee.
Yeah.
In a pinch, are you playing DeMarcado?
DeMarcado or like Zach Charbonnet to me are like on the same tier.
Yeah.
Well, if I have to flex them,
would you rather
flex them?
Zach Charbonnet or DeMarcado? Boom, boom, boom.
Right now, I probably have to flex Zach Charbonnet in this game.
Okay.
Did you flex DeMarcado?
I would go DeMarcado just
He is a
because
little explosive.
I feel like he has a little bit more explosiveness to him, and watching him in that Dallas game, he was being utilized more. Zach Charbonnet, I know, is literally cutting it in half.
And I like the goal
tennis.
line touches.
Right.
I saw Bam Knight, once you got in the 5, he was taking a lot of the touches. Although DeMarcado did play a majority of the snaps.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do with that backfield. And I hate chasing it. I'm playing Bam Knight, Michael Carter, DeMarcado. Every time I play one of them, they do horrible. So
Yeah.
I catch them all at the wrong time. It just
go the opposite of the reports.
yeah.
They say
Real.
who the starter is, go to the third string.
But JSN, Darnold, of course, you play those guys.
Yes.
And Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. Rams at San Francisco. Wait, is that another division game? It is.
Yeah, man.
Rams
Come
minus
on.
4.5, 49, or
I love that game.
49.5 over under.
You know, I think in that game, obviously, you're playing, your Devontae Adams, your Matt Staffords. Puka Nacua, how's he doing? Is hopefully
He's going to play.
Okay.
He had a negative on his, I'm assuming he has like bruised ribs or something,
Yeah.
but it was a negative in the x-ray and the MRI. So the only thing you got to worry about is just some bruising, and he's a tough guy. He'll be out there.
Yeah, Kyron Williams, you're playing. On the San Francisco side, I can't say much about the receivers. Kendrick Bourne has been sucking. And, DeMarcus Robinson, I mean, it's either Kittle and CMC, and that's it.
Yeah, log out. And then, the Stafford, Devontae, Puka. Oof. I think they're going to be nice this week.
Yeah.
Detroit at Washington. Detroit minus 8.5, 49.5 over under. I think it's going to be
Yeah, it's one of those.
Is there a mercy rule in football?
I think it's going to be one of those where David Montgomery throws for a touchdown again. But yeah, like to Goff or something. So definitely I say Detroit big in this matchup. You're playing Montgomery, you're playing Gibbs, St. Brown, even J-Mo. I saw some life in Jameson Williams against the Vikings, and the Detroit Lions are coming off a loss. Like, they are mad, and they are going to want to kill. So, on the Washington Commanders side, I'm not playing anybody. I'm not playing Bill. Bill is a drop for me. If you have Bill and you need to pick up any other asset that you need to win right now, because we're starting to think of playoff. We're starting to think of how you're going to make it. If you're in the 11th, 10th seed, you got to be desperate. You're getting rid of Bill. Christian Rodriguez, I have no mind in playing. And, the wide receivers, you should have traded Debo already, but you didn't.
Yeah, I think the running backs on Detroit side are going to have a big day. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think especially a big bounce back for Gibbs last week. He only had 5 fantasy points or something.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be hungry to feed him the ball, especially once they get a lead. Pittsburgh at Los Angeles. That's the Sunday night game. This is probably my favorite game of the week. Minus 2.5 Chargers. Over under 44.5. Aaron Rodgers versus Justin Herbert. I think you could fire up all your guys.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the only one I do have a little bit of trouble with is, DK Metcalf. Are they going to feed on the Pittsburgh side? Definitely, we're going to talk about Jaylen Warren in a bit. You're firing him up. But DK, I mean, he really hasn't posted great numbers in the last 2 weeks. And this past week, I mean, he almost got a 0. Like, he only had 2 fantasy points. I feel like Arthur Smith is just really worried about running the ball. If you're not a tight end or you're not a running back, he, dismisses you. And on the Charger side, my only complaint is, who's it going to be this week? Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen,
That's why
Gadsden.
I assume they're all in play. Like, in the end, if I have a choice between, let's say Romeo Doubs and Quentin Johnston, I'm probably going to go Quentin Johnston just because of the fact that I think it's going to be a back and forth affair.
I think the best play in that matchup is Gadsden. I think he's hot.
Of course, you got to play him.
I think he's hot, and I think that, other than last week when we had Tyler Warren that should have, took a dump on them because Tucker Kraft did the week before, I think Gadsden will get into the end zone.
Do you think Gadsden is one of those guys where you could definitely flex him?
Yeah. I've told people.
I have Kittle in the league.
I've suggested to people to play double tight end. Just because if you have Gadsden and you have another strong tight end, let's say a Tyler Warren,
Kittle.
Mark Andrews, whatever, I would definitely consider double tight end.
Only in that scenario, though.
Only
You
in
have
that scenario.
Good elite tight end.
No, yeah, like I'm not playing Gadsden and Loveland. Like maybe it's a little too volatile.
So Philadelphia at Green Bay, I think that this is probably the biggest game of the week.
I think so as well, too.
-2.5 Green Bay, Lambeau Field, 44.5 over under.
Take the plus all the way. I feel like, with Carolina going in there and beating them, why can't the Philadelphia Eagles? I know the Packers are coming off a loss, but I think their utilization of the wide receivers are terrible. Terrible. And now you're talking about no more Tucker Kraft. So Luke Musgrave, okay, that really doesn't do anything. We all know they're going to, there's death, taxes, and Josh Jacobs scoring a touchdown. So other than Josh Jacobs, I want no part of the Packers. And on the Eagles side, I think huge game, huge. Mark my words, if he plays, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, I think you can even, you got to play him if you got him. And Devonta Smith, I think, is a great play also. I think that they'll all get a lot of work. I think it's going to be
I can't believe the Packers are even favored in this game.
You know what? To be honest, I think it's only because they're home, and maybe they know something we don't know. But I will not play Luke Musgrave. I'm not going to expect the same. You can't expect Luke Musgrave to get plugged in and going to be exactly like Tucker Kraft.
That's a great play. I actually think Devonta Smith will be the X factor in that game. It's just too many people to cover.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
And also Christian Watson, I think, could be a sneaky flex. You don't think so?
They got Michael Carter from the Jets now.
Oh, yeah, Michael Carter's there. So is Jair Alexander.
Listen, Jair Alexander used to be a Packer.
Used to be a dog, too.
So don't sleep on him getting a pick in Lambeau, the return to Lambeau.
So that'll do it for the breakdowns. Now we're going to get into our starts, sits, and streams. My start of the week, QB Jaxson Dart, New York Giants, going up against the Chicago Bears. His dual threat ability gives him a great ceiling, great potential, and even a high floor. The Bears have been awful on defense. The struggles really suggest a high scoring potential. So some predict this is going to be a shootout. There might be some weather mixed into this game, so we don't know. But I could tell you that anytime touchdown for Jaxson Dart, you can almost guarantee it. Guy has 4 touchdowns in a row on the ground. He's getting 10-plus rushes a game. So you can expect him to use his legs. Bears defense ranked near the bottom of the league in yards and points allowed. You saw what Cincinnati did last week. So I got to expect that he's going to be a fantastic start. He is now entering the elite fantasy category, top 10 quarterback going forward, and I'm playing him this week.
I love that, Mike. My start of the week, this is why I'm so down on my boy DK Metcalf. It is Jaylen Warren. Mike, on the year, this man is RB22. He has been a sneaky pick in the drafts back in August, and he continues to produce. He averages almost 18 opportunities per game and is looking every bit of the Steelers' weapon that you drafted this past summer. The Chargers, 27th against the run. So this is a run-fuddle defense on Sunday night. I feel like Jaylen Warren is going to get his lock and loaded, baby, in that Arthur Smith offense.
Oh, I love to hear it because I love me some Jaylen Warren. I got him playing.
Yeah. I was driving in today and I was like, damn, should I really hype up this guy? Because Mike's playing him against me. But you know what? I do it for you. I do it for the folks.
He's a great player. Listen, you got to do what you got to do. Streams of the week. I'm going to go with one that you might laugh. You might not have heard this guy's name in a while. But Isaiah Likely of the Baltimore Ravens, over the last 3 weeks, Minnesota Vikings have allowed eight completions of 10-plus yards to the tight end. You saw them last week get torched by Sam Laporta. You saw them the week before get torched by Gadsden. It's Likely's turn. It is likely to be Likely. Again, their performance against tight ends ranks 5th most in the NFL during that span. So that means that They are top 5 when it comes to allowing tight ends to score. They've also given up 2 completions of 20-plus yards. This just sets up well for Likely. I think that he's due for a big game. Don't get me wrong. It could be a Mark Andrews game too. I think that the tight ends both look lovely in this matchup. But me, I'm streaming Isaiah Likely.
Myke, I love that. Isaiah probably likely to score in that matchup. For me, I'm going with something really dirty because I like them dirty. And it's against you, my friend. It is Davis General Mills cereal. You know, this is a real deep sleeper, folks. But I feel like the Texans in the past couple of weeks, their offense has been getting on a roll. You got Nicky Little Chubsy Wubsy in the back. You got Woody Marks. You got Nico Collins mixer. But you know what? Now we got the General Mills cereal. You know, Trevor Lawrence had 22 points against this defense. So I feel, not Trevor Lawrence, I meant Geno Smith. Geno Smith went off and had 38 points, not even 30, 25, 38 points in one of my leagues. I feel like Davis Mills can replicate. You know, the Raiders offense isn't as crazy. I mean, they have a couple of weapons, but that's like Nico Collins they have Brock Bowers. We have Nico Collins. Yeah. So I feel like maybe he could generate that connection. I feel like it is the year of the backup quarterback, my friend. Jacoby Brissett. Joe Flacco. Yes, I don't have impressive stats to impress you, but you know what? I got gut, and it's right here. It's right here.
You know what? Davis Mills, though, against Denver last week, he actually looked surprisingly good. So I wouldn't be surprised if, and when I say good, I mean his stats might not have been all that crazy, but they almost won the game.
Right.
You know, he kept them in.
Keep him in the game. Also, he was coming off the bench. You know, he's coming out of the bullpen.
Denver, that's
exactly
the toughest defense in the league. So it's not a bad stream.
No, against Jacksonville.
And remember, streams are guys you might not play, or you most likely will not play every week. But right. They have a good matchup and an opportunity for you to put them in your lineup on a desperate week. So these are 2 guys that we say can do that. Now, our sits of the week.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Just want to put it out there. Okay. Davis Mills is really easy to get. He is only rostered on an average of 2% in leagues.
One being Puma.
And 1 being me. So if you want to get down and dirty, jump on the bandwagon with me.
Get down and dirty. Now I'm going to talk about someone who's down and dirty. My sit of the week is, it's a shame to say, but my boy, Mr. Brian Thomas Jr., he's all banged up. He's leading the league in drops, a lack of consistent production you've seen, and now they just traded for Jakobi Meyers. I have to believe, despite his potential and all of his previous strong performances, his current performances are low. His on-field play is awful. He's afraid to touch the ball. And I think that at this point, moving forward, you could put him on your bench, wait for him to bounce back, and then just move on with your life.
Poor guy.
In the end, he's only had 1 game to hit 20 points. Other than that, he had only 1 other game that went over 12. So he's not due for much.
My sit of the week, Chuba Hubbard. Folks, you know, he started out hot, but someone of Rico Suave came in. He is fucking averaging 25 attempts. I mean, you know, Chuba Hubbard had 5 attempts this past week, which, Myke, we can't do much with that in fantasy. I know we're playing against the Saints, but this is not based off of matchup. This is based off of opportunity. And right now, Rico Dowell, the coaching staff, fantasy managers, we all know who the guy is, who's the most talented back. It's Rico Dowell. So my boy, Chuba Hubbard, has to take a back seat. I am sitting him this week. You cannot play that volatility because basically if Chuba does not get into the end zone, it's a total fail.
What a bust. He was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, he had a really great season. But, you know, that signing of Rico Dowell we mentioned in the offseason, I really felt like it was something to be scared of because knowing, okay, like this is a guy that was a starter on another team.
Yeah, it was weird.
It wasn't like a slapdick, you know.
Oh, Rico Dowell.
Yeah, you weren't like getting Jeremy McNichols. Like, no, this dude was like a dude. He put Tony Pollard out of a job. So, you know, for me, Rico is the better back. Enough said. Chuba Hubbard is 2nd in the pecking order. Now, don't drop him, but I'm just sitting him for this week.
That'll do it. You hear our Week 10 breakdown, starts, sits, streams. Again, we are the Fantasy Wise Guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram, Fantasy Wise Guys. Thanks for being with us. I'm Mike Niels.
Joey Puma.
The Puma birthday weekend. It's the rivalry. We'll see ya.
Master your game.